Jon Rahm is headed to LIV Golf. Bennett, are you troubled by the PGA Tour losing another star, or do you understand?
Oh, I understand. I mean, I'm kind of just at the point where it's like this. All these guys are going to do this when it's a lucrative amount of money like this.
Reportedly $300 million for 3 years. 3-year commitment at $300 million. That's the numbers, according to Mark Schlabach, ESPN.
So Vernon said this yesterday to Roser, and it makes total sense. Like, these guys are now starting to realize that their loyalty to the PGA Tour, it doesn't really mean that much, right? Like, it's just, thank you, pat on the back, like, we love you, but what does it mean?
This is why I don't understand why Jay Monahan is still the commissioner of the PGA Tour.
Right.
I think it is imperative to the future of the tour to replace him. And I'm not the guy who comes on here too often talking about somebody needs to lose their job. It's not fun talking about people losing their jobs. But when you lose the trust of the people who have to believe in you, because you did go behind their backs and do something you told them they should never do and you would never do,
right?
You cannot get that back. And it's one thing just when you go behind somebody's back and you violate somebody's trust, but there isn't literally hundreds of millions of dollars involved. Like, that stinks anyway. But when there is, in some cases, literally hundreds of millions of dollars involved, you can't come back from that. The backstory here, for people who may not follow it too closely, is that LIV Golf was an idea for years, but one that most people sort of swatted away as it's just not going to happen, because the PGA Tour got out in front of this pretty intensely and told their tour members, if you go to LIV Golf, you will get a lot of guaranteed money, but you will never be able to come back to the PGA Tour. If you leave, you're gone forever. And congratulations, you'll have a lot of money in your bank. But a lot of you already have a lot of money in the bank. And I am telling you, if you leave the PGA Tour, you're not coming back. And I would hope for you, I guess, that LIV Golf is there forever. But they could pull that thing apart at any time. And then where are you going to play professional golf? All right? So if you're all about the money, I can't convince you not to take it. But just know that there is no path back here for you. And among the people who initially said, yes, I've been offered a lot of money, but I'm going to stay loyal to the PGA Tour because money's not the most important thing, is Jon Rahm. He turned down hundreds of millions of dollars before.
Yeah.
All right? And he stayed loyal to the PGA Tour. Then he watched Brooks Koepka go, and Phil Mickelson go, and Cam Smith go, and Dustin Johnson go, and Harold Varner go, all in different, whatever order it went down. But these golfers started going. And LIV Golf became maybe not a thing that the public cares about, but it became a thing that was pulling prominent players from the PGA Tour. Jon Rahm still stayed loyal to the PGA Tour. And the lines had basically been drawn at that point. The guys who were going to take the money for whatever reason they were going to take the money, for Phil Mickelson because he was in the 50s, and that's just a lot of money to pass on when you're probably not going to make a lot of money on the PGA Tour anymore, right? For Brooks Koepka, you're concerned about your body. It's breaking down. You're not playing at a high level anymore. I better just go take this money now because I don't know what my PGA Tour future looks like. If you're Harold Varner, it's like you're maybe worth $3 million, $5 million, right, and they'll give you $50 just to sign on a piece of paper. Harold Varner had never won on the PGA Tour, might never win on the PGA Tour. What am I really holding on to? If these people over here are going to give me $50 million just to show up, I got to go. But the line had kind of been drawn. The people who have to go because they're either too old to make money on the PGA Tour consistently, or not good enough to make real money on the PGA Tour consistently, or their bodies are starting to break down, those people went. And then the PGA Tour was like, okay, bye. We hate to lose you, but bye. We're going to stay here and play on CBS. You're going to stay there and play on YouTube or the CW. And that's where we were. And then what happened? The PGA Tour, behind Tiger Woods' back, Roy McIlroy's back, Jon Rahm's back, everybody else's, went and cut a deal with the Saudis to try to partner LIV Golf and the PGA Tour, or at least partner these two entities. In other words, Jay Monahan, the PGA Tour commissioner, looked at Jon Rahm straight in his eyes at one point and said, John, you cannot take this blood money from these Saudis. I know it's a lot, but the survival of the PGA Tour is at stake. This is something Jack built, Tiger took to a new level, and you're the next one. I need you to be the face of this thing. I need you to be loyal, because those guys, I'm just telling you, the ones that left and the ones that will leave, they can have their money, but they'll never come back here. They will never play on the PGA Tour again. And that's why you can't leave, because if you do, you're never coming back. And so Jon Rahm said, okay, then I'm staying. I'll turn down literally hundreds of millions of dollars to stay on the PGA Tour. And then within a year, the PGA Tour, led by Jay Monahan, goes to the Saudis and cuts a deal. And a deal that, in theory, is supposed to allow a path back to the PGA Tour for the Brooks Koepkas and the Cam Smiths. It's a very much case of fool me once, shame on.
Yeah.
Fool me twice, shame on me. LIV Golf circles back to Jon Rahm. Says, hey, remember that guy who told you don't ever do business with us? Well, he's trying to do business with us.
Mm-hmm.
So you listen to that guy anymore? And at that point, I actually think it would be idiotic for Jon Rahm to not take this $300 million.
I agree.
Particularly after he won the Masters, and this is a part of it too. He won the Masters back in April. That gives you lifetime exemption into the Masters, 5 years into PGA Championship, I believe 5 years into the Open Championship, and then like me, you, or Jon Rahm can qualify for the U.S. Open.
Yep.
We just have to go do it. Well, he's like one of the best golfers in the world. He'll have no problem doing that. So once you're Jon Rahm and you know, first off, the whole thing about you leave the PGA Tour, you're never coming back, that doesn't seem real, all right? Well, if you leave PGA Tour, you might not be able to play in the Ryder Cup. Well, you know what Roy McIlroy said yesterday? Well, we're going to just have to change the rules because Jon Rahm's going to be on my Ryder Cup team. I don't care where he plays golf. He's going to be on the Ryder Cup team. So you now know there is a path back to the PGA Tour. I can play on the Ryder Cup. In fact, I've got Roy McIlroy's blessing. And I'm going to be in all the majors anyway.
Yeah.
What are we doing? It's not even like you don't even have to, if you can get past the part of it that some people can't get past, but it makes it so much easier to get past that when everybody else is already getting past it. When the PGA Tour, who tried to hold the 9/11 families in front of LIV and say, look at what you're doing to these people, then go do business with these same people, it makes it very easy for Jon Rahm to do it. Not only do I understand why he did it, I think it would have been dumb not to. I would have advised him to do this. And if I'm a PGA Tour player of any recognition, I would have my agent on the phone with LIV Golf. Like, are you interested in another big name? Are you interested in another star? Because I don't trust anything Jay Monahan is telling me. The PGA Tour, to stabilize, they need to replace him. It's just you hear this all the time with politicians. Once your constituents can't trust you anymore, don't believe in you anymore, then you are no longer capable of leading, of serving, of being the person in charge. The people you're in charge of, the people you're leading, have to believe in you. They have to trust you. They have to sincerely think that you have their best interest in mind. And there is no way that you could think that if you're a tour player about Jay Monahan, because he did you dirty behind your back, and he cost some of these guys hundreds of millions of dollars. So congratulations to Jon Rahm and his beautiful wife, Kelly. They are now working under a contract with worth a reported $300 million. And any PGA Tour player who isn't taking similar offers, if they're on the table, if they don't already regret it, they will soon.
The Gary Parrish Show, live weekdays at 10 a.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.